Hello everybody, Artisan Loom here with a tutorial for Strand Bands. This is a gift that I got to try out, and I love it, love it, love it. And I'm going to teach you how to make my beaded coil design. This is the one that won the contest, and it's pretty cool. It's real lightweight, lays nice and flat. It's pretty neat. This is my original one that I made. It's the same design, just made it with my own beads instead of theirs. And they're just shaped a little bit different, so that's probably why they lay a lot different. So this is the beaded coil. And so what you're going to need is one of these Strand Band designer thingamajigs, whatever you call this. You're going to need this, the styler, I guess is what it's called. You're going to need some strand bands, which today I'm going to do red. And you're going to need a threading tool, which I'm using a piece of thread off of, like, say you buy some beads and they're attached on a, you see that plastic thread, the threading that it's attached to. So when you go to take cut it off and all your beads come off, you'll be left with a nice string like this. And that's what I use. I save all of mine, as you can see. I save all of them. They're different thicknesses, depending on how small the hole is in the bead. And I just take this and I save them, and when I need a threader, I just put it in half. Voila, I have a threader. And I didn't even have to pay for it. So, super simple, and it's nice and sturdy. It's not, it's not like wire. Wire tends to cut things. That's why I do not use wire. Okay, so you'll need a threader, and it needs to be fairly thin, depending on the size of your bead. Now, I bought these beads, and it was these beads right here, and they have a pretty darn big hole, which is awesome. This is a bigger hole than the one that I did in the purple. Okay, but it came with two sets. I've already cut these out of it, but this is a 4 and a 6 millimeter bead. So the smaller ones are 4, the larger beads are 6, just so you have an idea. You can use any size, though. I do believe it'll come out the same. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so what you're going to need is, we're going to have to separate these. There comes with 6 strands. Okay, and what I want to do is I want to have, the coil is 3 strands that are together. I don't want them to be separated. I want them to stay together. So, so what I'm going to need is, I'm going to need to take 2 of these off, okay? Because when you put the bands together, you'll see that I only need 4 on this side and 4 on this side. So there's 6, so I need to take 2 off. So when we start at the beginning, we're just going to find 2 of these, try to keep them together, that way you can use them for different designs. See? And then just peel it apart. Okay? And then we don't need this. We can save that for another design. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to take the end of this and match it with the end of that as good as we can. Hold it up and down until you find the center. And when you do that, that's what you got. I'm going to tie it in a knot. Just like that. Pull on it. I don't want to make it as long as this one. I made this one extra long, but I'm going to make this one a little shorter. I'm not going to make it super tight in case I have to take it out. I'll tighten it later. Normally you would tighten it tight. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this, and see these teeth here? You're going to take it and you're going to put it on the teeth. Okay. Now, what we have is 4 on each side. Okay. We need to have 3 on each side and 2 in the middle, or 1 on each side in the middle. Okay. So we're going to take the band that's closest to the bottom here. Okay. So that one and this one, and we are going to separate it. So we're going to get that just the last one, and be careful only to separate that one, because you don't want to have 3, them all separated. And you're going to do like that, and then you're going to get the other side, grab that last band and bring it like that. Okay, so now we have these 3 and these 3, which you can just lay over to the side, and then you have these 2. Okay, so that's fairly simple. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to have to bead. So go ahead and get your beads and we'll get started. I'm just going to move this so that I have a better area to work with, so it's got to go sideways. Okay, so I have my beads right here. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a bead and I'm going to take my threader. Okay, so I'm going to take the end of this single strand band, and I'm just going to put the threader in between, just like this. Okay, you see that? And I'm just going to hold it so it doesn't come off. And then I'm going to take my bead and I'm going to put it both ends of the threader through, just like that. And then I'm going to push it on. Okay, so now you have it on just like this. Okay, so we're just going to leave that sit there. We're going to take this other band, okay, and we're going to put it on the threader. It's probably easier if you kind of do it down towards the bottom, especially if you have a tighter bead, then it won't stretch on the band too much. Actually, I can pull this through. That's a big, huge hole that I have here, so I don't have anything. See? It's wanting to come off. Okay. So then you're going to hold it like that. And what you're going to do is you're going to take, see how it's attached to the thing here? I'm going to hold it with my fingers here so it doesn't come off. Hold the other end. I'm going to use this finger to hold that down in between, just like that. And I'm going to hold it down, especially if you have a tight bead. It's not going to go through unless you push it down. That gives it extra room in the hole. So I'm going to take the end of the plastic wire and I'm going to put it through the other side of the bead. See? You have this side. Hold on, no, wrong. It needs to go through this side. I apologize for that. I knew I was going to mess up somewhere. Okay, you hold this down like that, and you're going to take this end and put it through this short end, okay? Put it through this side, through the other side. Okay? And then you're going to pull it through. Okay? Now look what you have. It looks just like this. Both bands are going through in opposite directions. So what you do, and depending, because this one had a very small hole, so therefore it went through just fine. It's just, I've also made another design where it was super tight fit, but this one's going to be easy to show how to. If you have one with a big hole, all you do is pull on each one, just like that, until it gets to the end. Okay? All right, and you're going to do the same thing again. So what our goal is to get a whole bunch of these, and I'll have to count these up for you to know how long of one is. I guess you could just, you don't have to go by my size on my wrist. You can go by however long you want the actual bracelet, and that's when you stop. Okay, so I put this thing on top of here, just like that, and I'm going to hold it from the bottom. Okay, and I'm going to grab my other bead, and I'm going to put it through. And pull it through the other side. See that? There we go. Now we're going to get the other end of the other side, put it on the end there, and I'm just going to hold it down at the bottom with my thumb or my middle finger. Okay, and then I'm going to go in through this short side, okay, because this band went this way. Now we need to bring this that way through the same hole. So you can grab these, hold it down, and pinch it so that you make extra room in the hole, although I don't need it because this hole is pretty big. Okay, you bring it right through, and then I'm going to hold the bead and then pull the other side, and then you have it like that again. So what you're going to do is you're going to take one end, or one of the strings and the other string, and you're just going to pull it, okay? And if your bands are super tight, or the beads are super tight, then you just got to be a little more careful. You may not be able to use the strings to push it. You may have to actually push it with your finger. So I'm going to take another one, put it through, put it through one side of the bead, pull it through, drop it, and I'm going to grab this other one, hold it in between like that, hold it together and make sure it stays there with your thumb and all that. And then I'm going to get the other side here that has this part dangling. I'm going to hold it down between both my fingers like that, and then I'm going to put both ends of the threader through, and then push the band through, drop the little threader, and then I'm going to grab both ends of the string and pull it, okay? And you want to kind of make both sides even, so you don't want to, like, as you're going and it looks like, see how it looks like that side has a lot more slack? You want to try to keep both sides a little even by pulling on them. So that's what it's going to look like, okay? And so I'll do another one with you, and then I'm going to let you go on your own and finish however many beads you want on, and then I will come back and show you the other part. So I put it through the band, grab me another bead, and I'm going to put it through one side, pull it through, drop that, get the other side of this string, put it through, hold it down, grab this side that is the dangling part. That's the side you want this string to go through. So just like this, I'm going to hold both. I'm going to pinch it so that I give a little bit of room, go through, and pull it through. Okay, now I have both ends, and I'm just going to pull on it, and it goes pretty fast. So basically, this is what you're trying to get right here. You want it to look, just like that, okay? So that's what we're going to do all the way down till you get however many beads you would like to do. And I think these are the same size, yes. So this fits nicely on my wrist. Okay. And so, let me zoom out a little bit. So there's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. There's 26 beads on here, but you can do whatever you want. Now, another option is you don't even have to do it as a bracelet. You can make a bag tag out of this or a keychain tag. I made this once before, and I ran out of beads to make the one that, I ran out of beads. So I had to take part of it apart and restart this design, and so I had about that much left over, and I kept that and tied it off and used it as a bag tag. It's on my keychain, or not a bag tag, a keychain tag. It's right there with my keys. I'll show you in a few minutes. Anyhow, go ahead and finish this part up. Just remember, one side of the bead, or one side of the band goes through a bead, and then you grab the other one, and it will go in the same size. It will go in like this. This side goes that way, this side goes that way, and then you push them both through, and then that's how you get this effect. So I'm going to let you go. You finish that part, and I will be right back to show you the rest. So I finished all my beads that I'm going to do to fit my wrist. Okay, and then you have these two hanging. So if you want, what you can do is just take this and pull it tight, and, well, not tight, but you know, put it through the teeth to where it holds it. Okay. Okay, I'll put this in front that way I can show you better. So we're going to work from the top, obviously. Maybe I can even bring this down even more. I'm trying to think of a way that's easier for me to get it on film. Press the suction cup down. Okay, now what I'm going to tell you is that you're just going to start coiling these. Okay, and so, and it may be hard to tell from here. I may have to, after I stuck this down, I may have to pull it back up. Okay, let me show you what I'm talking about. You see how on the top that there's that opening at the very top? We want to put these band through there. Okay, so we're going to take the band that goes to the side, and I'm going to put it down in there. Okay, it's harder to, okay, see now it's going down in there, and I'm going to grab the other side and pull on it. And you want this to stay nice and neat. Okay, well that's good. See how it went down in there? Now you're going to do the same with this side. This side you're going to put through as well. Probably hard to see. I'm going to push this down so that I can see what I've got to work with. Okay, put it down in there. Okay, grab the other end and pull it. Oops. Okay, so now it's in there. Both of them are in there. And that's how we started. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to tell you, now that we're going to be coiling, is I got one of these from Walmart. It's just a plastic needle, and it has a big eye on it. And to me, it's easier than to try to, well, actually, you don't have to use this. You can use it if it's easier for you to handle without having to try to use your fingers. This gives you a little bit of help. But you would take this and put it through the next bead. Okay. And then pull it through. Okay. And now we want to go through the next one. And it's like you're sewing. You got to make sure that they're not twisted or anything like that, okay? So then we go through the third one. And then you just work your way down. Now see how mine's a little twisted and messed up? And see, I need to twist this one the other direction in there like that to get it to lay properly. See that? Okay, so another way, that goes pretty quick and you do it that way. You can use your hands. I just go like this, and I get to the end of it, and then I use the end and I just pull down a little bit and pull this through and grab it. So you don't have to use that threading tool or the needle. It just sometimes is easier and it goes quicker. So you take the other end, put it through, okay, that's one side. I'll show you the other side. You're going to do the same thing either with the needle or you'll use it with your finger. Get the other end. You can pull on this to separate a little bit so you got a little more room because there's 3 bands going through it. Okay, and then you just pull it through just like that. Grab the other side, turn it around, put it through. The only thing you got to do is just make sure nothing's twisted. Okay, so depending on whatever's easiest for you, whether you use the needle or that's just a nice little toy. See how this one's all twisted? I need to twist it in through here, not the other way, to get it to lay right. Okay, so I'll meet you down here where I ended the other side, then I'm going to go off camera and let you finish. It's a very simple design. That's what I like about it. I mean, it looks complex, but it's really just simple. And I love this design a whole lot. And the bands are nice and soft, and it's real stretchy. And like I said, I've got mine on a set of I got them on my key ring. Okay, so then there you got it. Just like that. Okay, so I'm going to go off camera, finish till I get to the very end, and then we'll tie it off. Okay, so that's what it looks like. So I got down to the bottom, and you can close this any way that you want. I'm not the best at the closing part. If you're wanting to make a tag for your backpack or something, you can use that hook and put it on a key. Oops, excuse me. You can use this and put it on a key ring and then tie it down at the bottom. And then you can also put a big bead at the bottom just to put over the knot so that it looks, or put it through that first and then do the knot. That way it won't come loose. So that's one other way that you could do it. But however you want to end it. I think you can also do some wrapping. I'm still learning, so I've got all these. Let me move this in front of me. Okay, I've got all these together. You could tie it in a knot, both sides, or you could, which I think I've left myself, there's way more of this than this because we coiled it and so I ran out. But you could just take it and bend it over and make like you did up at the top, and then wrap it. You could do that, or you could just tie it in a knot, however you would like to do. Okay, I think for this sake, I think I'm going to just tie it in a knot, okay, because it will just make it easier for me for now. Okay, so I'm going to grab it, and I got to make sure because I left myself with just a little bit, so now I'm going to be struggling to try to get it. So I'm going to just take it and tie it in a knot as tight as I can get, or because I didn't leave myself enough room. Make sure all the bands come through. Okay, and I'm going to pull it through. Okay, take get everything? Yes. And I'm just gonna put that a little bit close to where the bead is. Okay, and now this bead may get tucked into the other side, and that's okay. Actually, it won't. I had it faced the wrong way. Okay, so I've made my little knot. And at this point, I can trim these off and then separate the little pieces out, and then I'll have like a little tassel at the bottom. I'm trying to think of how, and you can pull this off, how I would attach it to make it the actual bracelet, because I want it to attach to here. So I guess what you could do is you could get a, what is it, a jump ring, and put it through both sides and use a clasp, kind of like what I've done here on this pink one, because I wasn't sure how else to do it and I needed it to attach. Is I took a jump ring and I put it on the end of there, and then I took another jump ring and a claw and attached it to the underside of, or you could attach it through the knot, however you want to attach it. I just wasn't sure how to do it, so that's how I did it this time. But you attach it to the other side, and then there you go. You got a nice little clasp, a little bit of a tassel going on. So I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. So at this point, I'm going to leave it, and I'm going to just trim off the excess. Oh, I guess I can make some longer and shorter than the other. But then you just take your little tassel and you just split them. And, you know, if you don't like them staggered in different lengths, you can always cut them to the same length. But there you go. This is the Beaded Coil bracelet, original design by me, Artisan Loom. And it's really cool. If you want these, if you find that they're separated too far as you're coiling, you can push the beads up a bit and then, you know, slide them each one up a bit, and they'll move back into place where they're touching. But it's really cool, nice and comfy. My favorite colors too. So I'm pretty excited about this one. So, okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope it wasn't too much of a disaster. I tried, and I hope you decide to make one. And like I said, you can use any size bead that you want or any shaped bead that you want, as long as you can get 2 of the single bands. 2 of these must be able to fit through the hole. And like I said, you can thread one side through, and then you got to hold the bead plus the band and pinch it so that it flattens it, and that way you'll be able to get the other one through. So just make sure your hole is big enough, and then you'll be good to go. So I hope you enjoyed this, and until my next tutorial, which I have a few more other new designs that I'm going to be bringing out as far as the tutorial goes. And yeah, there you go. Okay, and I want to say a special thank you to Strand Bands and Renby for sending me these strand bands to try out. I've really enjoyed working with them. It was a challenge for me at first, but I'm thinking I'm figuring them out a little bit. I don't do a whole lot of knotting. I do more of the wrapping, because I never got into the craze of the friendship bracelet. I never got into that, so I didn't know how to do any of the knots. But I love the look of the wrapped look. That's just me. So these are all 3 of the same design, one with a different shaped bead, so it has a little more what do you call it, space in between each one. But there you go. Okay, until next tutorial, take care. Bye.